All right, we are going to talk about the markets next. Noah wants to know, should we increase our investments this month and take advantage of the down market? I know time in the market is better than timing the market, but this feels like a great sale.
Oh, man.
Is that a financial mutant or is that a financial mutant?
I love it.
Talk about this. How should he think about it?
Should we increase our investments this month? Now, I want to be very clear. We do have a saying here. We say that time in the market is more important than timing the market. Now, I, though, am not one who would say that accelerating investments are getting more opportunistic during downturns as timing. I think that is just someone who is exercising a financial mutant's mindset. If you can figure out, man, okay, market's down, volatility has presented itself, I want to see, man, can I save an extra $100? Can I save an extra $1,000? Can I increase my 401k percentage from 10% to 11%? I love making those kinds of decisions through bouts of volatility because you are a contrarian. You're doing the Warren Buffett thing of being fearful when others are greedy and specifically now being greedy when others are fearful. So should you increase it? I would say you can increase it so long as you're not running afoul of the financial order of operations. I hate because you're right. You want to hold the thing up?
That's all right. I'm always ready. If
you want to go get your coffee, you can go to moneyguy.com/resources. You want to make sure that you're going through the financial order of operations. So long as you're doing that, and you figured out that you can decrease expenses to increase your investment contributions, I love it. Here's what I don't love you doing. I don't love you going back into step 4, and I don't love you dipping into your emergency fund and saying, ooh, market's down. I've got my 3 months, but I'm going to take it down to 1 month and I'm going to go do this. Because what if it gets uglier? What if things get a little bit dicier? What if all of a sudden the economy slips into recession and then your industry, your company, your job is not as secure or certain as it might have been 6 months ago? You just don't want to be too greedy or too risky. So I think the answer to Noah's question is, should we increase it or can we increase it? Absolutely, so long as you're not breaking the financial order.
First of all, no, I love the financial mutant mindset. Definitely, market's down, lose 10%. I want you to take that mental comfort of that one of the best tools for fighting volatility is a great dollar cost averaging. So always be buying, baby. It hooks you up, it protects you, it buys through all the volatility that's out there. But here's my personal belief on this. You have a falling knife. You never know where markets are. Nobody knows in the short term. We don't know. The people on the talking heads on TV, they don't know either. And you don't know if this thing is, have we had the worst of it? Because every year, if you look at intra-year in investing, there's about a 14% change within just the S&P 500.
So even in good years.
Yes, you'll see 14% of variation some point in the year. So it's not uncommon that you see a drop of 10% or so. Mm-hmm. But for me personally to change my behavior, I need bear market. Mm-hmm. Because I will tell you, I get even though I'm not a market timer, I do become very dynamic with my dollar cost averaging once we cross into bear market, which is a loss of 20% or greater. Here's the other thing. Make sure, and Bo hit on this, and I thought it was perfect in the fact that I want you to make sure your plan reflects your life and your future goals. It does not give you an invitation to break the financial order of operations. If you take your emergency reserves below the comfortable 3 to 6 months just so you feel like, hey, buy the dip, if it doesn't tie into your plan and it even breaks your plan by ruining your emergency reserves, that's a no-go territory.
I love it. I think, is it Warren who says when it's raining opportunity, reach for a wash tub, not a thimble? I think
he says he changed it every few years. He writes the same thing, but he uses thimbles one year, he uses buckets another year, cups. But he has used that saying, but just used different things that hold the water.
So if you are someone who does have, if you do have the ability to either increase income so you can increase savings or decrease expenses so that you can decrease savings, I don't think that's a crazy thing to do during bouts of volatility. But just like you said, you have to define what is volatility. And you said bear market, 20% downturn. I think the market's even up today. So who knows if this volatility we're seeing right now is here to stay or not. But I love Noah's financial mutant mindset.
Reeve, anybody got any questions dealing with they're emotionally scared about the markets? Do you see any of those, or are people just such financial mutants that they
I'm
don't
not
even think
seeing
about
a
that?
lot of no, I don't really see that
That's
today.
great, because I
mean, they might still come in. If you have that, we would be happy to talk about that.
We haven't seen it from our clients either. So
question about the market.
And it is true. Markets are still up over 8% year to date. So even with this pullback we've had in the last week, so I was just curious if people had some behavioral or emotional fears.
Well, we as humans, we always suffer from recency bias. What I think is so interesting is I feel like we've been conditioned over the past couple of years. Go with me on this journey. Fourth quarter of 2018, market dropped really, really fast. It was 20% downturn really fast, but then it came back super, super quick, right? So fourth quarter of 2018, market dropped and came back.
You pull that rubber band down, the further
exactly
it goes
right.
down, the further it goes back up faster. Volatility,
then we had,
speed.
The pandemic, we had all those words. Then we had the pandemic, we had COVID in 2020, same thing. Rapid descent followed by a rapid ascent, came right back up. 2022 was a really unique one. It was one where there was like this longer, drawn out period. I believe people actually got much more nervous during that, when it was like a 12-month downturn, than they do through these like quick, fast bouts of volatility, just because I think we've seen them so often. We've seen them so much recently. Okay, drops 14% intra-year, 20% bear market, but then comes back. If you are someone out there who's trying to time that, or if you're someone who's susceptible to letting your emotions get the best of you, by the time you make an adjustment, by the time you change something in your portfolio, it may already be too late. So I think you just have to be really, really careful about that.
Well, and I know this is not part of a question, but it is one of those things with the recency bias, is that since we've had such fast recoveries, a lot of people have forgotten that in the early 2000s during the dot-com, technology stocks got crushed in 2000, and then they got beat up again in 2001. And then they got crushed all the way down to October, November of 2002. And you saw that the NASDAQ and all those tech stocks basically take years to recover. And we've been in such a period where technology has just been dominating, that I think people feel like, hey, it's safe because I haven't seen it lose a lot of money. Make sure you go into all investing with your eyes completely open, have a reasoned, balance out that fear and greed component, because I think a lot of times people, when markets make lots of money very quickly, they get all just drunk off of the excitement of watching how much money they could make, and they go loaded up on those tech stocks when they have volatility. There have been periods, so that's why, and I don't want you to go on the other side of it when these things start dropping. Like when you see the NASDAQ lose like 6% at the opening, that punches you in the gut a little bit. You're like, whoa, what's going on here? It just be careful. Balance and having a plan that's good before, during, and after is the secret to success.
I love that.